Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. It's funny to kind of be away for a little while, especially, doing meditation related things, and then to come back here and to chat about it. And I did have a nice time with my parents and my sister. A few of my family members live in Arizona, so I went to Arizona to visit them. And to be honest, what I did in Arizona mostly was just relax and do nothing with zero agenda, and just kind of hang out with my sister and my parents. And that was great. It was really nice to disengage completely from my life. I mean, I did have some calls with my family back here in Singapore, but to really take time to rest. And that's really what I wanted to do. And I know that whenever I'm on vacation or something, I'm usually with my family, and we have 100 agenda items to do. We need to go here and go there and do this and have this activity. And as part of my recharge, I just decided to have no agenda and to be okay with just sitting around and, perhaps having space, having time to do meditation if I wanted to do that. And I think that's something, and actually this causes me to reflect back to the beginning of the year, the New Year's resolution, that mine was about emptying. Is it possible for me to empty certain areas of my life without trying to refill them, to be comfortable with emptiness? And I have to say, I've been, I haven't been too successful at that. I find that there are just too many things I want to do, and so I end up filling my life with a lot of new things, which actually has been fulfilling. So maybe contrary to my expectations, I've really enjoyed some of the new things that I've picked up doing. But at the same time, what is it like to explore that space of emptiness? And I'm so happy that I did it. And if you have a super busy life, maybe this is the invitation for you to take some time to just say, okay, this is my week that I'm, and I'll go back and say, I thought that I would be responding to a bunch of emails and be making new videos and editing and like doing a bunch of stuff. And I just gave myself the permission to say, no, this is the time for non-doing, for me to really recover, so that when I do come back to my real life, that I'll have the energy and the resources to tackle it with the fullest, and also have the mindfulness to be able to approach situations with that kind of self-knowing. So how am I going to engage in this conversation? Can I be acutely aware of my own emotions and my own desire for self-serving in this particular situation? I think that's a good way to remind everyone that helping tends to be self-driven and self-centered and egocentric. That most of the time when we help and when we advice give, and I think that's one of the reasons that as an MBSR teacher and in the MBSR program, we are encouraged not to give advice, that we only share our own experience, because advice giving, a lot of times there is that bit of ego attached to it. And so I have to say that's something that, as I've come back, that I've found is extremely helpful and useful for me, is that being more rested makes me more able to be mindful in my day-to-day life, so that when I'm having a conversation with someone who's important to me, that I can really be present, not only with them, but also, and I think this is really important to say, also with myself, because there's all kinds of things going on inside of ourselves. And I learned a lot during the retreat when it comes to my own thought processes. It's kind of it's a rerun of what happened last retreat. And so, I mean, that was interesting. And I'll say, stay tuned for next time, because next time I'll kind of go more into the learnings. Today, I wanted to just talk about restfulness, first of all, and also kind of give a review for the retreat with Jon Kabat-Zinn. So it's that, and that way, if you are ever considering to go on retreat, what kind of retreat are you looking for? So kind of chat about that a bit. As Rachel says, my father would never give advice unless requested, and this is a great habit to be in. Sometimes, though, I wish he had, as he saw things going on I wasn't aware of. Well, and that's it, right? Is the compassion. I love the definition I have for compassion is looking at a situation and asking myself that question: what can I do to be of service in this situation? And sometimes the right answer is the best thing that you can do is to do nothing at all, not to get involved, right? There are plenty of things that we, maybe. In U.S. there's an election coming up, right? And so there are a lot of people that want to talk about different things, and I think the really important thing in that situation is to ask yourself the question: well, what am I hoping to accomplish by saying this? Is the thing that I'm saying aligned with what I'm trying to do here? And I think compassion also considers it focuses on considering the other person. What is going to be helpful? What is going to be of service? What is going to help the other person that is here to suffer less in this situation? And I think that's always a good little mental check to go through whenever you're going to have a conversation first, but especially a confrontation. If you're choosing to confront someone before we even embark on that confrontation, really understand what's in it for me. And if you can't come up with a good, if you're coming up with a really good one, or you're finding that it is entirely self-serving, right? This confrontation is one that you should be avoiding completely. Yes, of course, we're meditating today we've got about 1 more minute. As you probably know, the format that I tend to stick to is 10 minutes of discussion, 15 minutes of meditation, and a 10-minute wrap-up and chat interaction. So just a kind of a reminder for everybody if you've kind of forgotten how that goes. And I see that I really haven't got around much to talking about or at all about the Jon Kabat-Zinn retreat, so I'll save that for next time. What we'll do as well is the time after next time, I'll also share some of the key learnings for myself. So we'll kind of do the retreat review next time, and the following time to tell you about what happened inside of me, which will be a topic that's very specific to me. But what I would really like, is if you come and take this as a sharing session. Sometimes what I really like when the meditation's over, what helps a lot is if you choose to share in the chat. That I think that there's, that is, one, it's great for me as a meditation teacher to be able to see what happened for you and to be able to talk about that a little bit. And two, maybe more importantly, is that you are very rarely alone in your experience. That when you share, it tends to, and people may not write back and say, "Hey, that happened for me too," but it tends to be some common experience that other people share as well. And so, as I share about my retreat experience 1 week from today, that's really what I'm hoping that it resonates with someone else. That what the the intimate knowledge that I'm gaining of my own mind is something that might resonate with you. And I'm quite curious, in fact, to see how common what I experienced is. So I'm looking forward to share a little bit more when that comes up a week later. So I shared a little bit about my insight, but I'll go into a deeper dive 1 week from today. So welcome back. Great to have you all here today. Hope you're having a great day, and let's go ahead and get into our meditation. So get comfortable wherever you happen to be. If you like, allowing your eyes to close. Finding a posture where you can remain still to some degree. You can let go of your conscious mind's effort to do something and instead rest in time of non-doing. So encouraging you to sit up straight and tall with a kind of dignity, a sense of purpose, remembering why you're here, what it is that you hope your meditation practice will help you with. The reason that you take this time out of your day to do nothing. Or maybe more accurately, to completely let go of doing and striving. And see if you can. Resist that temptation to assess, how's it going? How's my meditation today? Is it a good meditation or is it a bad meditation? Instead, just to rest in nowness. And often we pay attention to breath, but understand as well that nowness and paying attention to what's going on right now doesn't necessarily involve the breath. We are on planet Earth. Is it possible for you to tune into the sensations that gravity is causing in your body? So Earth tries to pull us to its center using gravity. Can you feel what prevents us from plummeting to the center of the earth? So maybe the first thing you can notice is the cushion against your buttocks. So as Earth pulls down, the cushion pushes back. Notice where else you feel the effects of gravity. So for me, I'm sitting cross-legged. I can feel other parts of the square part of my cushion touching my knees. Maybe you're sitting on a chair. You can feel the weight of the legs being supported by the floor at the soles of the feet. If you're sitting up, can you feel the compression inside the spine as the weight of the upper body comes down on the spinal column? on the vertebrae? Can you feel the muscles in the lower back? Holding your back erect. And as I'm scanning through my muscles, I just happen to come to my abdomen. And as I do, my breath becomes very apparent to me. So feel free, if you've also arrived at your abdomen, to notice the rising, the falling, the movement of the abdomen as you breathe. And now I'm noticing my chest rising and falling with the breath. I'm surprised a bit by noticing a little bit of tension in the chest muscles. Feeling the muscles in the neck and the head, the face. Checking again, has the dignity that I began with disappeared? Have I begun to slump? Has my posture begun to crumble as I've been sitting here? Is it possible to remember the determination, the resolve, and the attitude? Is it possible for your posture to reflect your attitude of determination as you stay focused here in this moment? Now, how about your shoulders? Your arms, your hands? Where are they? Where have you chosen to place your hands? Do you find any tension in the shoulders and the arms? And so if you're struggling at all to figure out where to place the attention, of course you can always use the breath. The constant moving and changing shape of the body as you breathe. And And so let's experiment with that determination. Is it possible to completely observe one inhalation and one exhalation with a mind completely focused on that inhalation and exhalation? Maybe there are little moments where your mind wants to wander. It begins to wander, but because of your determination, you're able to bring the mind back after only a few words of inner monologue. Can you do 2 breaths? And so this is the key. Is it possible to be completely determined, focused as best we can, without a rigid kind of self-harshness? So not to scold ourselves when we do it wrong. Instead, this is a way for us to explore the nature of our own minds. So if your mind wanders, it's just because that is the nature of the mind. The mind wants to wander, wants to be entertained. So can you observe that, even with your determination to be concentrated? So now let's see if we can do 3 breaths. The inhalation, the exhalation, We have just a few minutes left, so I'll remain silent to allow you to work with your present moment awareness, to explore yourself, explore your mind, see what is happening, see what naturally bubbles up as you do your best to stay focused. Focus on the present, on the body, on the breath. Okay, now is the time for us to begin to draw our practice to its close. So I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. So see if you can wait until the sound of the third bell has completely subsided before moving your body. All right, thank you very much. Thanks for taking this time to sharing this time with me today. And also, congratulations on making it through the meditation, making some time for yourself. So how did it go today? And are there any questions or comments about what we've kind of chatted about today? Hello, Karina. Welcome. And while I'm waiting to see if anything shows up in the chat, I just want to say it's great to be back. I've missed you too. So, if you've missed hanging out with me in meditations, I've missed hanging out with you as well. It's refreshing being back. It's great to see everybody, and it's great to share this time. And I have to say that it's there's a feeling, right? I mean, I can feel it in my heart and in the top part of my abdomen, kind of a warm fuzzy feeling to be back with you all and to be able to share this. I think that community is an important thing for all of us as humans, and I'm no exception. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful for this community, and I really did miss you all. So it's really great to be back, and I'm looking forward to sharing more insights about the retreat and my meditation process. I've been meditating for quite a while. I've been on Insight Timer for just had my 4-year anniversary not too long ago of live events. So that's exciting as well. And it's something that I plan to do indefinitely. I don't know if when I'll definitely have more. You see, I've got some gray hairs here, and I'm sure I'll have more of those as my time as an Insight Timer teacher continues on. Dirk asks, was it a silent retreat also? Which is a good question, and I'll chat more about it next time as we talk about the logistics of the retreat. It was an optional silent retreat, meaning that you could choose to stay in silence for the whole retreat, but I would say the vast majority of participants did not. I, however, chose to remain in silence until the final day of the retreat, for a variety of reasons. And I think one of the things I can say about it is that I find that if I'm on a retreat and I'm not in silence, that like when I have lunch and I chat with a stranger at lunchtime, they almost guaranteed the next 3 hours of meditation my mind is gonna wander back to that conversation. It's gonna be like, oh, you should have said this, or wondering about this or that, and I know that it's not helpful for what I'm trying to accomplish in my meditation retreat. So I'll chat a little bit more about that next time, because it is interesting, and I have to say that it's my first retreat in the West, in the capital W West. So even though I'm trained in MBSR, which comes out of University of Massachusetts Medical School, I've never done a retreat in the West, and so that alone has made it different, and some of the feedback that I received from that I heard from other people about the Jon Kabat-Zinn retreat in particular was that it's especially light, that it's lighter than a lot of the other retreats that they had been on in the West. So that also kind of it was assured me, because the retreat felt really easy, to be honest, compared to the other retreats that I've been on. Karina says, I can relax deeply. Great. I've done your body scan yesterday. Thanks, Karina. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. I love it. I think this is my favorite way to interact with people on Insight Timer is this. I love the live events, and I, of course, I appreciate everybody who listens to my tracks, because that is how I am compensated on Insight Timer. But this is what I love. I love interacting with you all, and anyway, warm fuzzy feelings about your return also. Thanks, Gene. Today I repeatedly kept gently escorting my mind back to the object of my focus. A long dialogue could come with that, perhaps more than this space provided. Thank you. Thanks, Gene. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear what happened. And I just want to say that does not sound unfamiliar at all. That I don't know what other... I do find that it does seem like a lot of people have super peaceful meditations that come here, and I got to say that's not me. And in those last couple minutes, I'll just share with you what happened. So I said, all right, I'm not going to talk anymore, and then I talked a little bit, and then after that, there was a period of about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of silence in our meditation just now. And so what I was trying my best to stay focused, but what I found happened, which tends to happen a lot, is that my mind kept coming into the future, coming into 2 minutes later, going, here's what I'm going to say, right? When I after I ring the bell, here's what I'm going to tell everybody, right? Here's what I'm going to talk about. That's very common for my meditation, and not just here on Insight Timer, not doing a live event, of course. My mind will fast forward to what I'm going to speak about when the meditation's over, even when I'm trying my best to stay focused on the present. But I find that happens a lot. That a lot of my meditation time becomes rehearsal. I'm like, here's what I'm going to say later. There's a lot of that happens during my meditation. Sybil says, usually I have a quiet, thoughtless meditation, but today I had so many worries and concerns I want to handle, and so I did find being on the breath a real feat of concentration, correcting posture constantly. Thank you so much, Sybil, for sharing. Thanks, Cat Blue. It's great. It's a great reason to call it practice. That's right. Well, that's it. It is practice, right? Like, I think we talked about that. We often talk about this, right? It's like we're getting ready for the big game, right? The big game is the rest of life. Is it possible for me to go out there and have fruitful interactions with other human beings that cause no harm to them or to myself? And of course, it doesn't mean that we need to be a wet noodle and don't have any, don't try to influence people. But it is possible to influence people without harming them, believe it or not. And so that's kind of part of it. And also, is it possible to be aware of yourself? And by the way, one thing I'm just going to say: your thoughts are not true. Right? Your thoughts are not true. Don't believe your thoughts. That's something that I kind of forgot. I think during my retreat, that's something that just came up a lot, was that my thoughts felt really true. I'm like, this is definitely what's going on. I feel it. Like, I feel it in my emotions. I feel it. I know it in my mind. Like, this is the truth. This is the absolute truth, and I know it without a shadow of a doubt. This is the truth, and it's so important, this truth, that I'm gonna say this. Like, here's some really powerful thing I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna talk about it in front of these 200 people here at the retreat. I'm gonna stop my silence because this is so important to talk about. And then 6 hours later, it's not so important anymore somehow. Feelings are feelings. They're not who we are. Thoughts are just thoughts. Jackie says, I share your love for the community on Insight Timer. I think it's amazing. So many thousands are on Insight Timer at every moment of the day, whether they give feedback or share during your lives. It's all a deep engagement. I share that feeling that being here is very important so that we strengthen community and our care for each other. Thoughts are not facts. Thanks so much, Jackie, for sharing that. And that's something that I always appreciate. And that's why I encourage you, if you're thinking of sharing something, even if there are 64 people here right now, and even if no one else gives feedback to say this resonated with me, I'm sure there are people who are probably, they're shy. They don't necessarily want to chat on, in public in front of everyone. I understand. But your sharing can definitely help them. 200 people was at the Jon Kabat-Zinn meditation retreat was 200 people. Okay, it is time for me to say goodbye. As much as I'm enjoying this, I do have to get my kids up to go to school here soon. So, next time I'll debrief the retreat more, really tell you a little bit about the retreat, and tell you about Jon Kabat-Zinn if you're curious about what the man himself is like. And I hope to see you again. So it is, not 48. Today's Thursday. Gosh, I'm still a bit jet lagged. It'll be Tuesday, so 4 days from now. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, 5 days from now. In a little while from now, I'll be back live again, and I'll be sharing more about the retreat with Jon Kabat-Zinn. So I hope to see you there. And join Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle if you'd like some more time with the community. I have to say, I'm impressed. Is that the right word? I'm impressed with the community on Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle who meditates together every day. So go in, check out Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle on Insight Timer. There's some chat that happens there. It's not as much as it was in the past. There's still some chat that happens there, but I think probably the richest part of Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle is the meditations that happen on days that I'm not here. So join in. Go team. Keep it up. Keep practicing. You're going to make progress. Let's send our well wishes out to ourselves and to each other. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all human beings around the world, whatever their viewpoints are, whoever they are, I wish them all happiness and peace. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next time. Take care. Have a lovely day or evening. Bye-bye.